Hey everyone, welcome back to Match B2B Insights. I'm Brenda, joined as usual by Benny, and today we're getting into a question that every small or mid-sized business struggles with. What is brand authority, and why does it matter more than ever for SMBs?
Shalom, Brenda. And honestly, this is one of my favorite debates. Because, look, building brand authority for small businesses, it's not just for Coca-Cola or Google, right? In Israel, sometimes we think a brand is just how loudly you can shout in the market, or who's got the most chutzpah.
Yeah, that big, bold, here I am energy, right? But really, research and our experience say that branding goes way deeper. It's about trust, emotion, and how people actually feel when they interact with your business. It's not just your logo or that snappy tagline, it's the whole experience.
And even in the Israeli scene, where sometimes the branding is more about being direct and maybe a little rougher on the edges, it always starts with perception. How people talk about you, what they remember, if they come back. As we always say, the brand is what they say about you when you leave the Zoom call.
Exactly. So for anyone listening who thinks branding is for the big guys, pause that. Small businesses can actually connect more personally. That's a huge advantage if you lean into it. Let's unpack what that really means.
So, tying into last episode and our ongoing theme, retention versus acquisition. This is where folks really need a mindset twist. You know the Harvard Business Review data. Getting a new customer costs several times more than keeping an existing one. And Israeli SMBs, they're masters at squeezing every shekel. So why waste it?
Absolutely. For our US listeners, it can be anywhere from 5 to 25 times as expensive to win a new customer as to keep one you already have. And here's the kicker. Improving your retention by just 5% can boost profits by as much as 95%, according to the research. Retention isn't just a buzzword or a tagline. It's an entire business strategy and mindset.
Exactly. And if you run a business like it's all about acquisition, you're running with a leak in your bucket. I sound like a broken record from our last episode, but it's true. Retention turns stability into real, measurable growth.
Yeah, and on that, quick anecdote, I had a client, mid-size B2B, who stopped chasing warm leads for just one cycle and devoted everything to current client success. 18 months later, they doubled their profits. All because they got fanatical about retention and every single customer touchpoint. That's not the exception. It's the future if you get it right. So once you get on board with retention, that's when you need to dig into who you are as a brand. And we're not just talking pretty colors. We're talking mission, values, target audience, and vision. This is the strategic stuff every SMB in the US or Israel needs to nail down.
And this is where frameworks help. Because, it's easy to say, let's stand for something. But try answering, what's our why, like Simon Sinek says? Or mapping your brand's identity prism. That's when founders start sweating.
No pressure, right? That brand identity prism makes you ask, how are we seen? What's our culture? What actually makes us memorable? And you see this with some great Israeli examples. Tipa or Lusix, for instance. They don't have huge marketing budgets, but they have absolute clarity and consistency in messaging, purpose, values. That's how they outshine the giants.
Let's be honest. The Israeli approach, small but very clear. No fluff. If you ask a Tipa founder about their mission, you get an answer, not a PowerPoint. Consistency beats budget any day, especially for us small guys.
Now, pivoting to something everyone can see, visual branding. Because your logo, your colors, your website, they're not just window dressing. They set the tone for everything else. A strong visual identity makes you instantly recognizable. And research says consistent branding can boost revenue by up to 23%.
Yeah, visuals matter. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But here's the magic today. AI tools can put real design power in the hands of SMBs. I remember, before Canva, my team spent weeks debating over a single banner. Now, it's about speed, testing, and learning from data.
Totally. There's this gratitude platform, Thanks. They unified their sales and marketing with AI tools and saw 400% productivity gain. Not just faster, but more consistent and more relevant to their audience. You don't need a giant design department. You need tools that learn and adapt with your feedback.
I still laugh. My old marketing guy spent more time on color palette blue number 4 than talking to customers. Today you tweak, measure, repeat, and your customers do the rest of the voting. That's the new visual branding reality.
All right, but here's where a lot of small businesses get stuck. Social media. Managing all those platforms, it's overwhelming. But automation lets you keep a strong, consistent presence with a fraction of the effort. Honestly, without automation, I'm not sure most SMBs would survive online.
It's true. And you don't need to be everywhere. Instagram might be great for showing off cupcakes, but LinkedIn is where B2B lives and breathes. Biggest mistake? Spreading yourself too thin, or using automation and forgetting to sound human. I mean, my cousin's intern ran the Instagram for his company, and the bot posted Happy Hanukkah in July. So choose your tools and double check.
Exactly. Pick your battles. Platforms like Salesforce's Starter Suite or Pro Suite let even tiny teams stay omnipresent. You can automate posting, scheduling, and quick engagement while still maintaining your voice and story. Even with a single-person team, you can show up everywhere with the right approach.
And the tip is, schedule posts, keep it consistent, and really use your CRM to track what's working. You wouldn't believe how many Israeli SMBs test out 10 different social platforms, get overwhelmed, and go dark for 6 months. Don't do that.
That brings us to content. Building true authority means being known for something specific. Not just noise, but thoughtful content. Blogs, guides, webinars, educational stuff that actually helps your audience solve problems. That's how you move from selling to leading.
Can I jump in with my all-time favorite? Israeli cybersecurity folks, they always share. Here's how we failed and what we learned. That level of honesty turns heads. When a small company opens up about mistakes, the global market starts seeing them as real thought leaders, not just someone begging for likes.
Yes, spot on. User-generated content, real stories, pain points, and yes, sometimes what didn't work. The goal is to become the go-to source for your niche, not to cast the widest net. Focus wins, especially for small brands.
And yeah, I know, the temptation is to talk to everyone, but authority means picking a lane. The cybersecurity example is perfect. Lessons from failure build more trust than a "look how great we are" campaign. People remember the real stuff.
Let's talk about storytelling. Everyone's got an origin story, values, impact, and getting that heart into your messaging is what sticks. But AI takes this to another level. Today, your CRM isn't just a filing cabinet. It figures out which story, which testimonial, which message really resonates.
Now we're in my territory. I love when technology can help us actually be more human, not less. With the right AI-driven CRM setup, you match your stories to the right customer, right moment. Telling the right story, not just blasting your about us everywhere.
For sure. Just worked with a B2B exporter using AI to review their language and campaigns, fine-tuning which stories to lead with. No extra ad budget, but conversions went up sharply. That's why you pair data with story, so your clients, and even your team, become your best storytellers and advocates.
And nothing's more powerful than a real client testimonial that's timed just right. AI does the grunt work, so you can spend more time being creative. I'm all for machines telling me when my human story hits home.
Which brings us back to personalization. People expect it now. Like 2/3 of customers think brands should adapt to their changing needs. Now, not tomorrow. For SMBs, scaling personalization can be tough. But segmenting your audience, setting up behavioral triggers or automated emails, even simple chatbots, can go a long way toward making each customer feel seen.
Absolutely. And the tools like Salesforce's Agentforce, even the micro businesses can offer 24/7 support that feels personal. By the way, before AI chatbots, I'd get WhatsApp at 11 p.m. Now my clients talk to a bot first, and I can finally sleep. That's loyalty right there. Then your small business feels big and personal at the same time.
It's about meeting people where they are, personalized product recommendations, targeted messaging. When you do it right, you're building experiences that keep people coming back, not just pushing them for the next sale.
We cannot skip community. If you want to scale brand authority, look at companies like Monday.com. Their whole playbook is about partnerships and co-creation, letting users build and contribute, then growing self-serve ecosystems and advocacy programs. It's not just about top-down marketing anymore.
Right. And Monday.com's not just resting on ads. They cultivate advocates and build communities that help each other, kind of like open source for business. And those local stories travel fast. In the Negev, there's even a reseller who grew their agency by making customers into passionate local ambassadors, literally turning clients into a kind of brand squad.
Exactly. You launch the platform, you support your users, but then you get out of the way and let them carry your name forward. That's how you turn a software company into a movement. If you try to own everything, forget it. You'll be left behind.
So, we've talked a lot about building authority, but let's end where sustainable retention really happens: feedback and advocacy. Capturing insights, acting fast, and showing customers you're listening is the secret engine of profit. Things like NPS tracking or even simple check-ins make a huge difference.
And don't forget incentives. Advocacy isn't just hoping for word of mouth, it's rewarding clients for it. But honestly, Israelis are world-class at one thing: iterating based on feedback, sometimes overnight. Get a feature suggestion? Next day, maybe it's live. But long surveys? We're allergic. Brenda, why we hate surveys so much?
Probably because most founders here, and honestly many small teams everywhere, want fast, actionable feedback, not a 30-minute interrogation. Israelis aren't unique in that. What works is simple: listen, tweak, close the loop, thank your advocates. That's where churn turns into brand superfans.
And with that, we've gone full circle. Brand to retention to advocacy. That's the modern SMB playbook. Whew! If you stayed with us, you're already ahead of the curve.
Well, Benny, that wraps up another episode of the Retention Revolution. If you're a business leader or consultant, hopefully you've come away with some new strategies, or at least the conviction that brand authority and retention matter more than ever in today's noisy world.
And remember, you don't have to have the biggest budget, just the best execution. And a little, chutzpah. We'll dive into even more case studies and practical tools in our next episodes. So keep us in your feed.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Benny, as always, thanks for the energy and insights. We'll see you all next time on Match B2B Insights.
Later, everyone. See you soon. And good luck building your next brand superfan.